Hello again, this is David from Off-Trail Bushcraft. Wanted to share with you my loadout using a DD 55 liter Bergen Rucksack. Now this is not an ultralight in any way, but you may get some nice ideas. This is designed for winter camping in Ireland. So I want to be warm and I want to be relatively dry. So this helps me with that and it might give you some ideas. First off, right on top of the backpack, I have a couple of cat's eyes. Which glow in the dark, so it's very easy to find find the rucksack in the woods if I have to walk away from camp for whatever reason. Also, I have a bright orange inside here, a bright orange signal panel. Now, this is very useful if I'm hiking and I end up on a small country road. I live in Ireland, so having something bright orange, there's a lot of rural roads and rural areas out where I camp, so it's a bit of safety. I also have right on top this little bag. Now, that's where I keep my ridgeline. It's just a small bag that DD makes for holding beer cans. I use it to hold my ridgeline, so if I'm setting up a shelter, it's right on top. Here, I have a carabiner that holds a cuxa that I carved myself. Really like having this thing. On the other side, again attached, I have a Helicon Text sit pad. Just handy to have something to put my knee down or to sit on. Again, trying to stay dry, trying to stay relatively warm in the wintertime. A couple of soft shackles. On the side of the pack, here, I have a pair of work gloves. I have a Mora 511. This is the Mora Basic. I really like having these knives because they're very simple, they're very light, and if I'm teaching somebody or if I'm sharing my knives, I don't mind sharing a Mora 511. If it's a handmade knife, I may be a little more hesitant to share it, if I'm being honest. Here is a Pathfinder Canteen cook set with cutlery, and I have one on each side of the pack. This gives me plenty of water, plenty of cooking apparatus, and it's also additional items if I'm with friends. Quite often when you're in the woods, you may be very well prepared, but your friend may have forgotten a fork, a spoon, a cup. I got some extras, and I'm happy to carry that weight. Above this, I have a Silky F180. This is a coarse saw. It is very good at getting me firewood. That's why I like having it. It's primarily what I use it for. Just some extra cordage, also strapped onto the outside. Here is a sleeping mat, sleeping pad. I believe it's officially called like a sniper mat. All it is a body-length waterproof mat. It's heavy duty, and I like having something a little bit more robust on the ground, especially in the winter months, to keep me dry, and it gives me a place to change my clothes, gives me a place to keep my gear organized, and I like having that. This is a hammock setup, but I still like having something on the ground. This action pack now, what I like about this pack is that it comes off. So once I bring this big pack to my camp site, I don't need to walk around with that. I have this pack for going around and for exploring. On this side, I have a navigation kit, and on this side, I have a fire kit. I can go through those in other videos, but they're quite inclusive, and I like having a lot of options for fire and for exploring. I got everything in here, from pacing beads to a vintage compass that I rely on. The fire kit has loads. I quite enjoy that. Inside here is a firebox stove. This is the Scout model. It's a big metal box, and it has a number of accessories in here. And this I can do a separate video on. It is an excellent kit. It actually has a square cooking pot, which is surprisingly useful in the woods, and it's very handy for packing. There's loads of room left in this pack, but I have a small bottle of oil, and I have the Oginel Picnic, which again is my own cutlery. I do have spare cutlery for friends, but I like having that one for myself. Right in the front of the actual pack, I have this. This is a Millbank bag. If you're unfamiliar with it, it is simply a water filter. Very simple, and I like having that if I'm in the woods and I run out of water. I only have 2 liters here. If I run out of water, I can harvest more from the landscape give it a basic filter with that, and then boil it up, and I'm comfortable doing it that way. Into the main pack. Under here is a pocket that I keep essentially pajamas, spare underwear, socks, and that's just in the lid of the pack. Then I have right on top my tarp. It's the first thing I'm going to need once I'm actually setting up camp, so it's the first thing on top. The inside of this pack is just for being comfortable and enjoying my time. Now I have my hammock stuffed right on top. I have my under blanket, and I finally have the massive Jura 2 sleeping bag. Now, this is the Jura XL, Jura 2 XL. This is designed for winter camping in Ireland, Scotland, in cool temperate climates, and the fact that it has the heavy-duty foot bag, a center zipper, it's huge, I'm not gonna lie, but it keeps me warm even in very cold and damp conditions, so I like having that. That's all that's in here. This is empty now. It is just comfortable sleep gear in the main pack, and then extras around the side. These two side pouches are virtually empty. That is for food. I think I have a small tea light lantern in one. I have the cordage and the pegs for the hammock and the tarp, things like that, but this is primarily just for carrying whatever I want at a particular time in the woods. So, is this ultralight? By no means, but I really enjoy having this in the wintertime, and the majority of the equipment is for staying warm. That is something you should never forget, is having a good night's sleep in the woods. So, hope you enjoyed watching, and thank you. Feel free to like and subscribe, and there's more videos to come.